When you see, the last time you got so excited and charged about a movie was after Animal. What is the difference in your mind between an Animal, which you also said broke the rules, did all these things and all that, and a Dhurandhar, which again now it's affected you very deeply? What is the difference between these
See,
two?
the difference I'll tell you, see, Animal was pretty much there is still another version of Godfather for me. Instead of Michael Corleone, Sonny Corleone kind of a guy was played by Ranveer. It's still a father-son, and the father was being attacked by enemies, and the son takes revenge. Pretty
Yeah.
much it's in the same template.
The template, yeah.
Durandar, I don't believe it is that. Durandar, like the nearest example I can give is a James Hadley Chase characters into a Frederick Forsyth kind of a scale.
Yeah.
Animal didn't have scale. The villains were pretty much ordinary villains. In the way he shot, in the way he characterized Ranveer Kapoor, the shock element of some of the scenes in the conception, and that is what for me.
Yeah.
But Durandar's scale is too big. It is, yeah. So in that what happens, see, if you take the hero, in fact I mentioned this to Sandeep also, I said the difference between a Shiva or a Michael Corleone or these kind of people and Animal, nobody will look up to Ranveer Kapoor. You enjoy his performance. You are awed by his acting and what he does. Shiva you look up to as a man, even if you know him in real life. Michael Corleone, you respect that man. Same thing with Hamza. So in Hamza, what happened? Most of the time it doesn't explain. It doesn't talk. It doesn't explain his actions. It is inferred for you to feel what he is feeling rather than. And the complexity of his interrelationship with so many characters in the film, placed in so many hierarchies. Many times he's just observing. Many times he's not saying anything at all. He's just as an observer, we're listening to the people.
Yeah.
So by the end of it, you are connected to him more than anybody else. Even though, yes, technically it's his story. But his story is the least explained in the context of how a normal screenplay will do. So those kind of pattern breaking. So I saw that this is how intelligent networks work. Really? When did you ever feel? I never felt. I never ever. I mean, like I said, for the want of a better explanation, you will listen to the most convincing explanation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that really surprised me about Dhurandhar and Dhurandhar 2 was, like you said, there are so many things that the movie breaks in terms of, taken as purely as a film, there's so many things that the film breaks. I could not believe that a big hero would take up such a role, which is so internalized.
Yeah.
Because right from the Bachchan days, which is the template for the modern day hero. Pre-Bachchan, let's not get into Rajendra Kumar and Rajesh Khanna. That is a different, Shami Kapoor, that's a different era. Let's talk about the modern, violent, drama-filled, whatever era, right? From Bachchan onwards, yes, Bachchan was internalized. There was a lot of internal anger. All that was there. But there were all these punchy dialogues that came out from time to time and told you what he was feeling or what he was doing. And that format was followed for a long time. But here, there are so many close-ups of the hero, Hamza, which you are left to kind of interpret what he's feeling about that whole scene.
Yeah.
In very few scenes, like when he tells his wife why he did what he did. And those are also bigger scenes because they kind of explain that the enmity is not with the nation, but with people within that country who are trying to harm his nation. Uh, Only those parts you get an idea of what is really going on within him. Otherwise, he's, like you said, so for a hero to take up this part was itself surprising for me. So do you think this might also affect the way heroes look at films to pick up from now on?
See, there is no two ways about it, but I'll tell you the main problem there is, see, one thing we're talking about the scenes, we're talking about the content of the whatever. Here, the main thing what people are not realizing, that's also the reason why Ranveer Singh would have agreed to do it. It is Aditya Dar's personality, the way he can explain
Right.
how it is going to look like. Now you can get tons of money, you can have the intent, but where will you get Aditya Dar? See, I am not trying to put down any filmmaker. That's not my intention. See, we've been living in the last whatever years. हीरो का एलिवेशन सीन दे दो, इंट्रोडक्शन सीन में ऐसा फाइट है, इधर एक फाइट है, and people throw into the air, and you get the best action directors and spend tons of money, and it will come, you know. But the nuances and the tremendous character detail in their emotional context, this is not something which you'll understand on paper.
Right.
If you just read it in a description text or the lines, that is not it is. For example, when he burns the photo of his wife and son, I actually had I got a lump in my throat. That is something which you will never be able to tell on paper how it is going to look like. It looks like, no character looks like he stepped out of a makeup van. They look like they stepped out of life. Every character, I'm not talking about the principals, Now, that is an organically coming from Aditya because of his tremendous sensitivity inside him as a human being, his research, his attention to detail, all that is cumulatively taken that. If our directors, they don't have that and they try to imitate this, now how will you imitate? See, for example, let us say when he's at the airport waiting and his friend comes out, from off the airport.
Oh,
the
yeah.
the stay on his close-up and the length of time he did that. Now, are you going to take, I should have a long stay like Durand because it worked there? Or do I have to get the expression and how it built up to that and the way the intercuts happen and all that?
Yeah.
I'll give one example. In Shiva, my first film, there was this thing where Chakri comes out of thing and the man looks and slightly nods, and indicating that yeah, we are here. Now, after the film released and became a big hit, one director told me the same actor, he worked with him in some film, see, do that what you did in Shiva, just slightly or not, So he did that. Action again, he said, no, you didn't do it. No, I did it. No, you should do it a little more. And then, start camera, action. No, that won't get registered. Finally made him do,
Okay.
So, now that is about each person's sensibility. Why will it be the same?
Yeah.
A Sunny Deol in a patriotic film will shout very loud. In Hamza doesn't shout on me. The sensibility difference can be that different, in the context of that, So the immediate problem will be for the directors. We've been building heroes. People are throwing papers and coins and shouting and not even listening to what's happening there with thundering background music. Here we have a hero in the first scene is beaten up badly and with his teeth broken and all that. And now do you do that? Now what happens to the fans? But now why are the same fans watching Durand more than their films? It is going to disrupt like nobody's business. And then the action directors, like where, imagine something like a big film which came with two big stars in a climax fight of them fighting. I saw them, this guy hits him, there's no expression on him. That guy hits other guy, that guy has no expression. 15-minute fight chal raha hai. I asked one of the people working that, what is the point of a fight if you don't see the impact of the punch or the hit or whatever? He said, no sir, he said his fan base won't like it if he shows pain. That is the reason they refuse to show pain. Now here we have Hamza. When Major Iqbal stabs him in the chest unexpectedly, I never saw pain that genuine in my life. And that of a hero. A villain is stabbing him and he His pain is like he's going to die, maybe. That is the kind of a realism they shot. And that is not taking away the heroism. Uh, Instead of that, you're actually believing and feeling and connecting to him more than the guy who's walking in slow motion.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that is the whole point problem with Durandar further. That is the reason I said it's a horror film. Actually, it is going to make you rethink and revisit everything what you thought. I said in one word the difference between the other films and Durandar. The other filmmakers are making what they think the audience want to see. And Aditya, what he's done, he made a film what he wants to tell.
Right.
That is what which sets him apart in the uniqueness aspect. All of them, if you look at the actions, are similar. The item songs are similar. Hero ka dialogue bazi is similar. Because they are following what they thought the audience have liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.